let's make it happen. So let's start off with some shadow boxing. I'm going to explain my pattern or my theme tonight because it related to some training that I just finished earlier this afternoon. And so tonight's theme is changing patterns. And I worked a pattern with one of my boxers, and we're going to do this particular pattern. She was just measure, 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 and then throwing across. And it was really a nice pattern for her, and I was happy of it. And I said, oh, just do it now and change it to a cross. So she just measure, 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 and she smoked me with the jab. And I wasn't expecting it. It was a beauty. So we're gonna, I feel like I have to tell you how I pick my topic for the night is always a bit of an inspiration. Something comes to me, and literally sometimes they come to me as I'm driving to the gym. Or sometimes it's just something someone said to me, or maybe I've seen a clip of something and I'm like, well, I like that. And how can I develop a theme around it? So if you're wondering where my ideas for class content comes from, that's it. It's just, and literally one night I had my whole workout planned and someone said something to me and I was like, well, that's better than this one. So I just like changed it on the fly. So if any of you have a particular topic that you want to explore, I'm always happy to accommodate. So if you do want to work something specific, if you're in the virtual class with me, throw it into the chat. And if you're here with me live, shout it out at me or come and tell me after class. Let's pick it up for just a few seconds. Big combo. Okay, smooth it out. Changing our tempo. I'm off to an elite training camp tomorrow. It's an evaluation camp for boxers from Ontario. This is the elite men, elite women. Elite applies to age in boxing, which is really stupid. It's like saying jumbo shrimp. Elite just means you're 19 and up. But these are also open class boxers, so they are actually good boxers. But sometimes I realize that boxing is a sport that is not run out of an English-speaking country because they keep changing. It used to be called the seniors. Seniors makes sense, right? And then they changed it to elite, but it's like if you're a new boxer, you're novice. So you're elite novice. That makes no sense. You're elite, but you're also novice. Anyways, the World Federation of Amateur Boxing comes out of Kazakhstan. So I guess they just thought it was a good idea. So I don't know. I just work with it. Okay, time. Let's get out our virtual skipping rope, do a little bit of skipping. So this camp is an evaluation camp. We're looking at some of the data on the boxers, like their height, their weight, their age, and their sort of win-loss ratio. And then we're also looking at, we had them do the RBC fitness test. So there was 3, there was a sprint, a shuttle run, like a beep test, and a vertical jump. And so that tells us if they're fit. And then we're doing a technical evaluation. And so we're just basically having senior officials and some senior coaches just to watch them go through some movement patterns to see if they're coordinated, if their hands return after they throw. And then last they'll do is 3 rounds of sparring and they get assessed. So, but the sparring it's not to win, it's to show skill. So if they stop their opponent, they only get scored on the number of rounds that they finished. So they better not stop their opponents. Yeah, well, they're going to be told very clearly, you cannot stop your opponent. Last little bit of shadow boxing. Let's pick up our pace. Head movement, some blocking. So I'm very excited. This is our first sort of thing that we're doing in Ontario. I know Quebec has started their fights. They're just rolling them out. BC is starting in October. Alberta's, they're boxing. And the East Coast is boxing. Okay, time, shake out our hands. Let's roll out our neck a little bit. Roll to the front. And just standing nice and tall, just pull your ear to your shoulder. Side. Pull that down. Okay, let's glove up. So changing patterns. Why do we change patterns? Because you can start to do something in the ring and your opponent picks up on that tempo or that pattern that you're throwing, and then they're anticipating. Once they start to anticipate, when you change the pattern, hopefully you've created a scoring opportunity for yourself. So that's really why we try and change patterns. It also links to being unpredictable, hard to read. So, and I'm all about creating opportunities for myself in the ring, not me anymore because I don't fight, or I do, but just not in the ring. But for my boxers, I'm always like, try to help them figure out where's the opportunity, where's the scoring. So let's start off with a simple jab cross. And then halfway through the round, we're going to switch it to cross jab. Okay. So think about that. Just before we start the round, just play around with it. Feel how it feels. Jab, cross, cross, jab. I love the 2-1 because it's very unpredictable. And that jab comes in so quickly, it's very hard to block. Okay, so you know what the 2 patterns are. We're going to do 3-minute rounds tonight. So a minute and a half will be jab, cross, and then we're going to switch to cross, jab. Ready? Box. 3-minute rounds on. Okay? So nice jab, cross, a little bit of head movement. Moving around, nice, long, fully extended punches. Make sure your hand recovery. Ball, look, check yourself out. Make sure when you throw, that glove comes right back to your face. Don't be a lady, like a kind of, a lot of times people drop and they bring it almost to their belly button. They drop their punches and then they gotta lift their hands up. We don't want to do that. We want to keep our hands straight out, straight back. Jab, cross, move around. This is a nice basic combination that every boxer will throw over the course of a fight. Nice and balanced on your feet. Nice broad rotation. Fully extended punches. Bring those hips around. Okay. Jab, cross. In 15 seconds, we're going to change the pattern. And it's a 3-minute round tonight. We don't usually do 3-minute rounds, but it is nice to train once in a while. Okay, let's change the pattern. 2-1. 2-1. Still same long punches, same hand recovery. Stay relaxed through your neck, fully extended. Don't shortchange your punches by not extending. So really full, nice rotation. That's it. 2-1. 2-1, nice and long. We're going to just set this round right after. We're going to do just a little bit of technical work on it. You got 30 more seconds. Nice high hands. Move around. Don't always throw from the same place. Move around. Inch around your bag. Get used to moving left as well as moving right. Time. Okay, so let's do a little technical breakdown there. So how this might play out in a fight. I'm throwing jab, cross, especially if I'm hitting them with it. Boxer may not realize the first time. The second time you hit them with the same combination, they're like, oh, damn it, I got hit with that again. Don't think you're going to get the third one, because once they pick your pattern up, then they're ready for it. That's when you change your pattern. Okay, so we're going to go an extra minute. This time I want you to set it up. You can do jab, cross, cross, jab, or cross, jab, cross. But I want you to think about changing your pattern on the fly. So do two of the same, change it, okay? Just to get that idea of being able to change on the fly. Ready? 1 minute round of this, go. 1, 2, 2, 1. I love the 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. I'm going to throw another jab on there. So play around with it. Slightly different way to start. When you start with that cross, you might even actually put a little bit of a feint that they think the jab is coming, but then you smoke them with the cross. So you can feint, fake them out, boom, boom. See on my camera how fast it comes. That's 10 seconds. Time. So this is how the format of the class is going to go. But I really want you thinking about when you do shadow boxing, put these pattern changes into. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do hook cross. So we'll do some hook cross for a minute and a half, and then we're going to change it to cross hook. Again, when you're throwing these punches, make sure, look at how when I throw the hook, in this case, I'm going to throw the hook, my chin just tucks in nicely in my pit. When I throw the cross, same thing. I'm not throwing these punches with my head in the air where they can see. So keep your chin down when you're throwing these punches. And with the hook, don't be afraid to change your angle. So like you can throw it tight where it's got a tight angle, and that's when your opponent's close to you. But sometimes your opponent's not close to you. And that's where you have to open your angle. Okay? So it almost becomes like it can almost get to the point where it's almost a straight punch. But don't be afraid to open up the angle. Ready? 3 minute round. Go. Hook cross. Hook cross. Move. Keep that chin down. A lot of body rotation in this one. You get excellent body rotation. These are non-linear punches. So they really get the body, the core. You got to use your core to rotate. The faster you turn your hips, the more powerful these punches are going to be. So the faster you turn your hips, the harder they're going to be. Whatever pattern you're throwing. But keep using that hook cross. Visualize someone coming at you and they have a low head and you just throw that hook in there and then you throw that cross right down the middle, right? Hook cross. 30 more seconds. Cross. Lots of rotation. Don't be afraid to let your feet support you. If you're watching my feet, there's my hook, there's my cross. There's my hook, there's my cross. Lots of hip rotation supported by foot movement. Really turning those feet. Okay, you're halfway through the round. Change the pattern. Cross hook. Cross hook. Straight down the middle now, and then you're finishing with the hook. This is one where you might want to open up on that hook. Because if you caught them at the end of your jab, they're far enough away that you're going to need that longer hook. Cross hook. Cross hook. Boom. Feel free to use sound effects. I love sound effects when I box. Boom. But usually it's like the sound of my gloves. But if I'm shadow boxing, I just make my own patterns up. So cross hook. Another 45 seconds. Nice. Move around your bag. If you're throwing your hook with your left hand, then this is a nice one where you're going to move naturally to your left. If you're a southpaw and you're throwing your hook with your right hand, then you're going to want to move to your right. It seems like a very natural transition to just use the momentum of that hook to continue on, to get off the line, to get out of the path of your opponent. 5 seconds. Time. So hook, cross, cross, hook. These are very common patterns used in southpaw orthodox fighting. Okay? So when you are fighting someone who has the opposite stance of you, always be mindful of the jab because you're both jabbing on that same hand. So what I always tell my boxers, if you're boxing someone of the opposite stance, line your back hand up to their chin, and that helps to offset you. And it sets up that nice clean hook that you can just get around their jab hand. Okay? For the next minute, I want you switching between, do some hook, cross, and jab, cross, or sorry, and cross, hook, or vice versa. Okay, so I want you to make the pattern, repeat the pattern, change the pattern. Ready? Minute to go. Box. One where you might find yourself naturally gravitating one way, and that last pattern change moves you in the other direction. So be mindful of which way you're moving. That can also be sort of a change in pattern. I'm moving one way, and then I change and move the other way. This has got a lot more tricky footwork to it because you are naturally moving around the bag. So as you move around your bag, make sure your feet are never coming together. Never let your feet come together. Time. Okay, this is the one my boxer smoked me on. And this is like measuring. This is very common in the ring. If you're just in front of your opponent, you're waiting to throw, you measure, and then I want you to cross. This is actually helping you. It's, I call it saying, a measure is kind of like you're just putting it out there, but you're not leaving it out there. That's a true measure when boxers stick their arm out and they leave it out. So you're just sticking your arm out and use that to create the momentum for the cross. Okay, so set it up in their face, boom, okay? And then we're going to change it. And this one's very different because the footwork's very different. Because on the cross, you're like 1 minute your jab hands out, and then you're going to follow through with the cross. So it's a natural rotational moment. It really sets itself up. But on the jab one, you're going to have to find a way to make that last jab powerful. And I'm going to suggest it's a bit of a push off the back foot. Boom! Like be like a fencer and just like boom, lean forward with it. Kind of like stomp it. Okay, that's some way, but you're going to have to figure out how to create power for that last jab. Otherwise, it's going to be sucky. Ready? Measure, 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 cross, box. Yeah. You should have heard my sound effects from the kids' class last night. They thought it was ridiculous until I started doing it at them. And they were laughing. And be patient. You have more time in the ring than you realize. You don't have to rush, especially in a combination like this. This to me is very predatory. You're tracking someone down in the ring. You're creeping in on them. And you're just coming up close. Boom. Sam, this is an ideal combo for you. You got those long arms. And then boom, there's the cross. That's it. Good movement. Set it up. And again, really take advantage of that measure. The jab hand, your lead hand is out. Allow it to help you create a full rotated cross. This cross should be very hard. Measure, measure, measure. Boom! Like it should be powerful because it's set up to be that way. The converse of this one is not like that. It's going to be much challenging. Okay, switch. Now measure, measure, jab. Okay? Stick that jab in their face. Stick it in their face. They expect the cross because you've been doing it. And then boom. Make sure you keep your back hand up. Boom. And the trick with this one is finding the power. Finding the power. The tip is it comes from the feet. Definitely comes from the feet. You got to step in on this one. That's it, Angel. Nice and tight. Bring those elbows in a little bit. Damn, I like your patience, just probing it, probing it. Nice, Nick, good. And even a bit of a slight tempo change there too. That is like high marks, 10 seconds. Time. Ah, we aligned with the bell. Okay, this time I want you to switch it up. So sometimes you're gonna do the cross, sometimes you're going to do it with the jab. This one to me is probably one of the most interesting of the bunch that we're going to do today because it's very unexpected. And if you stick that, I mean, this first the measure cross, if you're really putting your jab hand up in their face, blocking their vision almost so they don't see it, and then you get that cross there quickly, it's unexpected already. Okay. But when we're doing it with the jab, so you hit them with that twice, they will notice. The third time, boom, you just keep the jab going, right? This one is very interesting to me. We've done the extra minute, so we're gonna move on, but that was like one of my favorites. Okay, now we're gonna go jab, cross, hook. You're gonna do the hook to the head, jab, cross, hook. Halfway through, we're gonna change that hook to the body. So the mechanics for the hook to the head are different than the hook to the body. So I'm going to give you this first round to explore what those mechanical changes. When you go to the body, like for me, I like to step over and sort of like my plane is coming this direction. I like to try and dig up, get underneath their rib and touch the bottom of their lung. That's my visual for it, right? But when I do the hook to the head, I'm more protective. And I keep my chin down, so jab, cross. I actually, for me, when I throw that one, I actually pull back and I almost use that hook almost as a bit of an exit. Like I almost kind of throw it and I'm already exiting. But that's how I would throw it. You can stay in and keep going if you want. Okay, so jab, cross, hook to the head. And then halfway through, we're gonna go hook to the body. Ready? Box. Cross, hook to the head. When you're doing that hook to the head, keep that chin down. And again, that hook can be long or it can be shorter. that's where a boxer has to read the play. Where's the hook gonna land? You know, if you go too short, you're gonna miss it, you're gonna spin around. Very embarrassing. Maybe not very embarrassing, but it's embarrassing. Right? So you want to make sure you get a piece of it. And sometimes you don't get enough of a piece of it. Like you might kind of just clip them on the hook. But if you really land the hook nicely, that's a fine punch. 30 seconds more, then we're going to change the pattern. Watch your feet. Don't let your feet cross. Make sure your feet stay shoulder width apart when you're throwing, so that you have a nice foundation. Okay, switch the pattern. Now go to the body. Very different. Make sure you're not going too low. Think about hip bones and up. We don't want to go too low and get penalized for a low blow. Also, I think if you hit somebody's hip bone, that'd be pretty hard on the hand. That probably could hurt. So you want to make sure you get the nice fleshy bits. And those hooks, I talked about body, but honestly, you can sort of put it right into the side of the rib cage. Also good place to hit, because there's not a lot there, and so it's just really painful. So if you're hitting someone sort of right under the rib, right under the armpit, on the rib, it's not nice. And use that rotation on that hook to the body to really dig it up. Really dig in on that one. Boom. And it could be a long hook or it could be short. This is, again, with these hooks, lots of variation. Lots of variation. Nice, lad. That looks good. Time. Okay, so lots of variation on this one. Like, and if you're wondering if you're balanced, when we start going bigger combinations, sometimes this is where issues with footwork become more apparent. So if you're not sure if you're balanced, after that jab cross hook, throw a cross, and then or jab cross hook, and you should be able to go right back into stance without having to really move. So if you throw jab cross hook, you should be there. You shouldn't have to move right away. If you're moving right away, there's something wrong with your feet. And it's very likely they're too linear. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I'm going to take my nice wide stance, jab cross hook. Boom. And like you can come and push me right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to move because I'm well supported there. But if I bring my feet together and throw this combo, I am off balance for sure. And you can see I wanted to over rotate. I almost wanted to hit the official. My opponent's there, but I'm like starting to move in this direction because I don't have a natural break. When you put your feet across, your IT bands are these act as these breaks. Like I just can't physically rotate anymore. But if I bring my feet, and this is because a lot of people box their back foot creeps behind, so they get a very linear stance, like it's almost like this. And when you throw like this, your IT bands don't activate in the same way. So just try that and you'll see the difference. Box, put your feet really wide and then throw that. And you're gonna feel those IT bands. So really bend and then put your feet much narrower. And you're gonna see there's no natural break. There's nothing in your body saying, oh, I gotta stop here. You feel it?
Yeah, I don't feel it in my knee.
On your feet, yeah. Yeah, for sure, because you're gonna feel it like that's what that punch, when you fully rotate, those IT bands are like elastics, right? And then you're loaded and then they allow you to snap and be explosive for your next punch. But if you're not activating them, you don't get that same level of explosivity. So after bigger combinations, every once in a while, just stop on the last punch and see if you have to move. If you don't, then your feet are where they need to be. Okay, let's change this one. Let's go lead hook, or sorry, yeah, jab, lead hook to the head. Jab, lead hook. So complicated because we don't get the natural rotation on this one. So extend the jab, bring it back, and let it naturally flow into the hook. Okay, a lot of work for the front foot on this one. Okay, so let it move. Ready? Try it. And then the second half of this will be jab, lead hook to the body. So let's change that up. These last two combinations involve more level change than anything else. The hook, the punches are the same, just the target's different. Jab, lead hook to the head. Jab, lead hook to the head. Halfway through, go lead hook to the body. Yeah, and again, figure out a lot of rotation. Punches that are successive in the same hand. So lead hand, lead hand, lead hand. Very hard, technically hard, because they don't have the benefit of body rotation. Like when you're switching sides, when you're throwing from one side to the next, your body, you get that nice weight shift. But when you're throwing on one hand, you gotta be really technically good. Jab, moving that chin down, lead hook to the head. And go slow on these, because I think that's a good way to feel the technicalness of this. If you go fast, a lot of times you're going to smooth out your mistakes and you're not going to feel it quite the same. So don't feel like you need to rush. And on that lead hook, that heel on that front foot will want to come up a little bit. So it allows the hip to come around more fully. Okay, switch the pattern. Jab, lead hook to the body now. Very different. Jab, lead hook to the body. Here you do get a bit of natural body rotation. I love this one. I never threw it as a boxer because I was very backhand dominant. But as a coach, I love it. Coaching made me more technical. Gotta explain it, you gotta work it out. Jab, fully extend it, bring it back, let it go to the body. Again, the plane on that second punch can vary a little bit, but I like it sort of at this 2 to 8 on the clock. And then I'm just bringing it in and up. I really like to go, I was shorter, so I want to come under, but if you're taller, you might even aim that coming up to the chin. I'll explain that in the next minute. Time. So this hook business. So one is really coming side head, that first one. It's just like side head. And that could be sort of even like a check hook. You jab at them, they keep coming forward, and you're sort of using that check hook. But when you go to the body, like there's one like the true body, like coming up on the body. But if you're really tall, if you're a taller boxer, instead of trying to aim and find the short person body, because sometimes people too just have shorter torso. Thank you. I was looking for that word. Where some people have these like big long torsos. So it's like you got a nice long torso. So you got a lot of target for me, right? I don't have a long torso, so it's going to be hard. And if you're taller than me, which most people are, it's going to be harder, right? So that's where that lead hook to the body can actually be nice and long, and you get a lot of whip, but you can bring it up and catch the chin, right? So just think about that for a second. From sticking it out the jab, coming, and then just like almost lobbing it. You know how I do chuck, huck, hook as a drill sometimes. This is very, very, very hucky. So jab, just do this motion. So jab, and then just come and let it go long. And you can see how the body naturally likes some good rotation there. So think about coming long, especially if someone's got high guard and you just want to come up through those gloves. Okay, so I'm just giving you a third option on this one. Okay. Next round, I want you to think of a pattern of something you throw, and I want you to figure out how are you going to change your pattern. Are you changing a punch? Are you changing the order? So you can change the punch. You can add something totally different, or you can change the order that you throw in. You can change the target, something from the head to the body or the body to the head. So you have different options of what you're going to do. So I want to give everyone the option to change their own pattern. So play around with something. And if you don't have a pattern that you have and you're not sure of, then try maybe playing around with one of the ones we did earlier in the class and see if you can change some other element of it. Okay, ready? Let's go. Box. I'm watching. Okay, so Sam's going jab, cross hook to the head and jab, cross hook to the body. Looks good, nice. You got nice long arms there, Sam. So you can do a lot of different things with that hook. You can, again, you can reach out, make it really long. Like Nick is doing like a hook cross. You're kind of just out of the screen for me, Nick, a bit, but I can see what you're doing. And I like that you're moving. There we go. So cross hook, and hook cross. Those are good ones. What do you got going on, Angel? Hey, so a jab, lead hook to the body, and then a cross. And then that's one where you can lots of different things we can do. I'm just looking around and it's interesting to see what people come up with. Level changes are totally fine, you know, especially with those hooks. Jab, cross hook to the head, repeat that. You get them to bring their hands up, their hands come up, and magically their body opens up. So that's a nice pattern to create because you're creating your own opportunity, not just being unpredictable, but you're hopefully pulling their hands up. Or if you're going to the body, they think you're going to go to the body, then they're dropping their hands because they're like, I don't want to get another body shot. And that's when you go to the head. So you're taking their guard away. Even changing the direction that you move can be a pattern change. They're expecting one thing, you give them something else. 40 more seconds in your round. So try a level change on something. Jab, cross hook to the body. Like it. Beautiful. Nice hook. Good. Got a girl in here throwing nice long hooks. She got long arms, throwing long hooks. I love that. 10 seconds. Time. So if you ever find yourself in the ring, pattern changes are very effective and they can be very diverse. It's not, again, it's not always just the punch. It could be the order. It could be the positioning on the body, the level. Could be, you know, you're always doing something moving one way, doing something moving one way, and then doing something moving another way. That's a pattern change. So there's lots of them. And then it could even be a timing change. You could throw, this is one of my favorites, is like And then they think they're blocking and they get in that rhythm of blocking, then all of a sudden. So they waiting for the third one and they don't think it's there. They think you stop, they drop their hands, boom, there it comes. So pattern change can also be a timing change. So it's an interesting topic, and it's something that I think can be highly effective. But now we have to start working on punch outs. So this punch out tonight, we're going to go 10 seconds on. We're going to start with speed, and I'm going to insert some that have power. So in a 2-minute round, we have 6 total. 2 of them will be power, 4 will be speed. When you're throwing speed, it's all fast. When you're throwing power, it's really hitting with bad intentions. Okay? When you're throwing power, you throw fewer, but harder punches. Ready? Yeah. Awesome. Go fast. Fast. That's it. That's fast. Good. Yeah. Nice and relaxed. Beautiful. Fast. Time. You want to make it go, go, go. Oh, now they're all going power. Speed. Speed. Changing it up tonight. Power. Rest. 10 seconds of rest. Kind of things change a little bit, but we'll go with it. Okay? Next one, you're going to start with power. Ready? Go! Power! Hit it with bad intention. Yeah! Speed! 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 Fast! Come on, guys, fast. Lightning fast. Lightning fast. Keep it going. Another fast one. Back to back fast. Don't slow down. Power! Rest. That's 30 more seconds. Now we're going to go in little 5-second bursts. Okay? Get ready. 2, 1, power! Speed! Speed, fast. Power! Speed! Time! You know what? As I was looking at the stopwatch and looking at this drill, I was like, oh, that's kind of like changing a pattern. Throwing fast 1 minute, then you start throwing power, and you go back to fast. So I didn't plan that, it just happened. We're gonna do, because that drill kind of changed, we're gonna do another round of that, and then we'll cool down. One more, everyone in? Friday night? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, starting with power. This time I'm gonna change the duration. I'm not gonna tell you what, because I know that gets people all worked up. So, okay, take it out on your bag. Ready? Power, go. Yeah, hit that bag. It's Friday afternoon. Had a long week. Let it go. Speed, speed. Yeah. Technical change, a mindset change. It's all good. Power. Speed. Little short burst of power followed by a longer speed. Yeah, come on, fast. Let it go. Yeah, move your feet if you need to move your feet. It helps. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Rest. 10 seconds of rest. Oh, that's a good sound. Get ready. You're going back to speed. 2, 1, go. Box fast. Come on, fast. Come on. Yeah. Fast, young man, go, go, light it up. I'm watching you. Power! Nice, good. Speed! Yeah, that's it, Angel. Dig it. Rest. We got 30 seconds left after this rest. Speed, go. Finish off, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Fast. Let's do it together. Come on. We're gonna go 20 seconds of speed. We're gonna finish with 10 seconds of power. Keep it going faster. Power! Boom, 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 boom. That's it. Time! Well, that was fun. Okay, start your cool down. Everyone shadow box. Let's get our heart rates down. And as you're shadow boxing, I'll just go over some of the patterns we did tonight and talking about changing patterns. So we did jab cross. We switched it up to a cross jab. And I do think with that one, it's like when you go to that cross jab, that second punch, that jab, it just comes at you so fast. That's what makes that one really effective. It's just really hard to block. And that measure cross sets up a really beautiful combo, but then just to that jab, 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 like that again, it's very unusual. When you're doing things like hook, cross, cross, hook, or jab, cross, like hook to the head or hook to the body, this is where you can have a lot of different options. You know, you set the pattern, you create it. They think you're going to go to the body. They drop their hands. You go to the head. Or if you're going to the head and they go, and then you go to the body. There's a lot of really nice stuff that you can do with that particular thing. You can even change it from being close to further out. So there's a lot of different variations there. And these ones are really, these punch patterns that have hooks and crosses are very effective when you're boxing someone that has opposite stance with you. Okay. One that we didn't do was, oh yeah, we did do that one. It's so again, looking at the body, you can go to the body, but you can go like take it and go long and bring it up to the head. So again, placement, timing, the punch, the order, the options are truly endless if you put your mind to it. So when you are doing your work, when you're doing your shadow boxing, really do try and incorporate some of these different pattern changes. Okay. That's it for me for tonight, guys. Have an awesome weekend, especially for those of us in the nation's capital or for my friends there in the provincial capital. And I will see you all next week. I have to go back to Winnipeg, but I am going to try and find a gym to run the virtual class out of. So stay tuned. If you don't see me, it'll be someone else or it'll be a recording. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.